Hey folks, hope you're well. It's Friday. Happy Friday. I know a lot of people are breaking up today. We are. It's our last day in the office. So I'm going to be carrying on with obviously my social media lives, etc. And just to keep you up to date to make sure that you don't miss any of my news feeds. So I'm going to be here until the 23rd probably. And then obviously I'm going to be taking a little bit of time off myself as well, if that's okay. I'll be back here just after Christmas time, just to make sure that we've got a brand new updated show for you. So stick around folks, got some great news updates for you today. And don't forget, if you're here for the first time, click on that subscribe button and that follow button so you don't miss any of my future shows. Hi, I'm Rick Gannon. Welcome back to my channel. So folks, are we all in Christmas mode? I think we are, because the viewers have gone right down this week. I think everyone's out there Christmas shopping, and that's okay. You're allowed to do that. So we do have a couple of things that we like to do here. So if you are new for the first time, or if you're not, and if you're a repeating viewer, please do say hello. Tell us where you're watching from, and I will give you some shout outs. Now, I would love some feedback as well. Very much about what I do is based on what you would like me to do. So I'm going to ask you throughout the show, what things you would like me to keep, what things you'd like me to change, ready for the new year. Because as you know, that I've got the Star facility now. So all the money that comes in from Star donations are going to be going back into my page in order to grow my page, to make better content, and to bring more live updates to you in the property and the business world. So if you've got any comments on that, what you think we could do better, what we think maybe works, what doesn't work, what you'd like to stay, what you'd not like to stay, the background, the quality of the content, etc. I would welcome your feedback. I really would, folks. So please do let me know. So good morning to Martin from Warrington. Merry Christmas, one and all. Good morning, Martin. Good morning, Michelle, watching on YouTube from Wandsworth. And Jemmy, you're watching from Essex. And good morning to Kim. Eating mince pies already for breakfast. That's okay. You're allowed to do that because it is Christmas. Watching in Tenants. So don't forget to give yourselves a shout out, folks. Please do say hi. What's in the news today? An investigation by the BBC has found that 80% of advertisements on 2 websites used by landlords say that people on benefits will not be considered as tenants. The sites are Spare Room and Open Rent. Those are the 2 biggest sites that we use, folks, for multi-lets and HMOs. And both of them have told the BBC that they are going to be addressing the issue. Now, by contrast, less than 1% of the rental advertisements on Zoopla and Rightmove have similar problems. In the summer, a court ruling determined that blanket bans on benefit claims contravened the 2010 Equality Act. The BBC analysed 59,000 listings on Spare Room and Open Rent, and both platforms currently offer landlords a tick box option to exclude people on benefits, although Spare Room plans to remove this option, says the corporation. Open Rent founder Adam Hislop tells the BBC, "We know that access to suitable properties for benefit claimants is a real and painful problem, and we want to solve the root cause of these issues. We've raised these issues in Parliament and with industry lobby groups and are working hard to address the root causes as well as trying to combat prejudice by educating Open Rent users." Open Rent does not ban any group of tenants, and in the past year, we have let over 25,000 properties where applicants from benefit claimants were explicitly welcomed by the landlord. So I've got a few things I need to add to this. Now, there's a big problem with this, because if this is going to be statute and if it does get rolled out as law, then the mortgage companies will need to change their T's and C's, because much of our mortgages that we have don't allow us to rent to benefit tenants. They only allow us to rent to working professionals. If that's your case, let me know as well. So that's going to be an issue. How can we do that? So on one hand, we're breaching, and on the other hand, we're trying to be compliant. So what we've done is we've got a stress test. So what we have is an affordability stress test across our portfolio. And in order for you, or you, if you want to have a room, that's cool. But in order for anyone to get a room with us, you have to have you have to beat this, the pass the stress test, which is 38%. So if your rent is more than 38% of your total gross income, then you can't get a room. And I think that's pretty reasonable. I think for us it works out at about, you have to have £1,000 or £1,100 a month gross income, which comes to that 38%. And I think we're quite fair with that. So that is across the board. So if people cannot meet that 38% stress test, they can't get a room. However, if they are on lots of benefits and they are meeting that stress test because it's a low value room, we're obliged to rent it to them. But then potentially we are putting our mortgage at risk because the terms and conditions don't allow it. So it's not in sync, is it? It's not in sync at all. So how can we be pressured on one hand to do something when the other side is making us breach? Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Mandy from Manchester. Adex, good morning from Coventry. Good morning to Miseko from, where are you from? Good morning, Kim. Saying reference mortgages, yeah. So it is a real problem, isn't it? If we can't do it because we're not allowed to do it, how can we do it? People don't take these things into consideration, do they? Melinda, good morning. Really useful. Thank you very much, Melinda. You don't have to call my surname. It's okay. We're all friends here. So I'd like to know what your thoughts on that, folks. Check your mortgage conditions. I understand that we can't discriminate. I get that. And we want to be able to please everybody. But if we're going to put our mortgage at risk, we can't do it. We simply can't do it. Next on today's news, the Generation Rent campaign. Hey, we're back in the news. Generation Rent. Hi, if you're watching. The Generation Rent campaign wants the government to write off private renters' arrears built up during the pandemic. Now, they've called for this all year, really, haven't they, since lockdown 1. And it has repeated its call for the government to increase the local housing allowance to help those private renters with COVID-related debt. The campaign says government figures produced in its household resilience survey conducted over the summer suggested that 569,000 private rented households in England are either behind with rent or at risk of arrears in the summer. Baroness Alicia Kennedy, who leads the campaign, says to put struggling renters back on their feet, the government must increase local housing allowance to cover average rents and provide grants to clear the rent debt that have built up. A statement from Generation Rent selects statistics from the survey which shows that 7% of private renters were currently in rent arrears, up from 3% in 2019 to 2020. It claims that a further 9% of private renters said that they were very fairly likely to fall behind with rent payments in the next 3 months, representing approximately 290,000 households. Those on furlough were more likely to currently be in rent arrears, and they were 17%. And those on furlough were currently in rent arrears compared to 9% who were not on furlough. Baroness Kennedy continues to say, these new official figures show just how hard private renters have been hit by the pandemic. Government support has not been enough to stop rent arrears doubling, which is causing severe hardship and crushing the hopes and dreams of thousands. So next on my list here, folks, I just mentioned this earlier, but now we've got a few more people watching. I've got the STARS facility now, so if you want to contribute, that'd be great. But that's not about that. What that does is it brings money into the page. Facebook pay me for providing content. Now, it's not a lot. It's like a penny a star. But what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put that back into my page in order to grow my page and to make the news feed better, to try and get that out to more people, to bring more people into the news feed, to do more interviews in the new year. So I really would like to get this to the next level. So what I'd like is your comments on the things that you think have worked this year, the things that you've liked on the show this year, and the things perhaps that you think would or could do with some improvement. So could you comment for me? Let me know. And it's all about your feedback because I do this for you. Obviously, I'm here to serve my community. Excuse me. So if there's anything you'd like to change, let me know. Or if you think it's just fine as it is, then of course, let me know that as well. Because I'm going to start planning. We break up today. and I'm going to be doing a bit on social media, but the office is closing today and we're going to be working remotely. So I'm going to be doing some planning during the next week or so before Christmas time in order for me to be able to see where we're going to go with this show next year. So please do comment below. Is it okay as it is? Would you like to see some improvements? And what do you think you would like to see if you'd like it improving? Please do comment. Please do let me know. That would be absolutely fantastic. Okay, what's next on the news? So for the third successive month, the number of landlords increasing rent to tenants has dropped, according to the latest data from all of the letting agents that took part in a survey. ARLA Property Mark has said 28% of agents have seen their landlord clients increasing rents during November. And back in October, the figure was 37%. And in September, it was 40%. The November figure is 4% down on this time last year. The number of new prospective tenants fell last month to an average of 65 prospective tenants registered per branch from an average of 88 in October. But surely that's the time of year anyway. Isn't that normal for this time of year? It is where we are. Regionally, the Northwest had the highest number of new tenants registered per branch, with an average of 121, and Northern Ireland recorded the lowest number with an average of 26 registered per branch in November. The number of properties managed per letting agent branch rose slightly from 213 in October to 214 in November. Now, year on year, this is an all-time high for the month of November, with the previous record being way back in 2019, which was 202. Now, the number of landlords selling their buy-to-let properties remained the same as October, as 4 per branch in November. Year on year, this is the same figure as 2019. The consistency in this month's figures exemplify the steadying wider rental market, with letting agents continuing to support landlords and their tenants during these ongoing difficult times. So it's interesting, isn't it? We're not putting rents up. I did a little bit of a survey myself over a couple of days, and I think most people are at the moment holding their rents just to see what's going to happen in the marketplace come January time. I'll be interested in your thoughts on that as well, folks. Sammy's saying, I saw rental property advertised with the wording along the lines, only accepting full-time. That's happened. That has been the norm, Sammy, over the last, 10 years, I suppose. And lots of people put a little caveat in their advert to say, only working professionals, or no students, no DS. We used to do it, no DSS, etc. There's been 2 test cases recently this year at county courts, local courts, that have ruled this as being discriminatory. So now we should no longer do it. But there is this disparity of what we can and what we can't do because of other legislation that we have to stick to as well. So, Melinda, the roundup of property news is great. Okay, thank you. Daniel, good morning from Beckenham. Vivian, I love your consistency and what you provide. Rarely, due to my work, be able to listen live, but this will change in late 21. Would love the addiction of pertinent interviews. Oh, addition. I thought you said addiction there. Well, what addiction do you mean? So you'd like some interviews. Okay, folks, that is from a comment that I've just asked. So I intend to do a little bit more with the show next year. It's been great. We've been doing it since lockdown 1. The figures go from 90 live down to 40. We're on 35 today. It does go up and down. What I'm doing is doing this persistently, regardless of the viewing figures. But what I do need to know is a little bit of feedback on how you would like to see the show progress in the new year. Different things. Maybe we could add some stuff. Maybe we can take some stuff away. Tell me what works and tell me what doesn't work. And please do put it in the comments for me today, because we are breaking up today, although I will be back here tomorrow. I am going to be doing the news feed all the way up until Christmas Eve. And I think the Christmas Eve figures will be quite low. But it's all getting the right content out there for you. That's what this is about. Next on today's news, the Guild of Property Professionals surveyed more than 1,000 buyers last week, and 31% said they would ditch their potential purchase if completion takes them beyond the 31st of March when the holiday ends. Now that's going to be awful for people that are in chains. It's going to break chains. It's going to break people's dreams. It's not good news. Whilst there are over 140,000 more people in the process of buying a new home now than this time last year, an estimated 418,000 homes sales progressing to completion according to Zoopla, with many having been prompted by the stamp duty holiday, and there are growing concerns over plans for the reintroduction of stamp duty in April 2021. Now, yesterday we did a report. There was a petition that was sent to the government. They responded by saying they've got no intention of extending the stamp duty holiday because stamp duty brings billions of pounds into the economy every single year, and they need that back in now because of the state of the country. So there is no desire, according to the politicians at the moment, to extend the stamp duty holiday. There are mounting fears that tens of thousands of property sales could collapse as buyers struggle to beat this deadline, owed in part to delays in the conveyancing process. And after the government confirmed that it does not plan to extend the temporary relief offered to property buyers via the stamp duty holiday, Ian McKenzie, the CEO of the Guild of Property Professionals, said if the deadline remains as it is, only a quarter of the sales agreed in January will complete in time, with 140,000 more people waiting to complete sales than this time last year. There will be a significant number of buyers who will have to find additional money for stamp duty if they've not budgeted for it. Our hope, and the hope of 71% of the public, was that the government was going to extend the stamp duty holiday, or at the very least introduce a phasing out period that will ease the pressure on all parties involved and will prevent a cliff edge. More than a third, which is 38%, said the stamp duty had a big financial impact on the amount that they paid, while a further 46% said it had a medium impact on their finances. The research also found the average value of the property people had bought or were going to buy was £232,500, meaning the average house buyer would face a stamp duty bill of £2,150. With a third aiming to push through and move quickly to take advantage of the holiday, Mackenzie warns many would not have budgeted for this additional cost. He added that if buyers were unable to complete because of not having the stamp duty money in place, we will see a large number of transactions fall through as a result. And in fact, the research showed 83% of those who had moved this year said that they would have been likely to cancel or postpone their house move if they had to pay more stamp duty, which would have been a disaster for the property industry getting back on its feet after the initial lockdown. The signs are there. The stamp duty holiday has been successful, but we need to ensure a smooth transition back to a normal service. Interesting times, interesting times. Raj, love to know more about property tax saving strategies. So Raj, this feed is about the news. This feed is about what's happening in the marketplace right now. It's not workshops. So these aren't workshops where I deliver strategies, etc. Okay, so this is about the news. So I wouldn't be able to do that on this show, unfortunately. But thank you for the comment. Mandy saying, love what you were doing. Thank you, Mandy. Peter saying, less time spent on good mornings would be good. See, these are Marmite. I know the show has to be interactive. However, some messages get read late into the show and hence don't make any sense or seem out of context. Maybe read comments and questions from the listeners at a dedicated time near the end of your presentation. Otherwise, love what you're doing. You know, we've had this conversation, Peter, over the last 12 months, and I've always put this to the audience and said, would you like the shout outs? Would you not like the shout outs? And every single time we have a resounding yes, we want to keep the shout outs. So that's why we do it. I really appreciate the comment, but that is down to the community, and the community have voted on many, many occasions that we keep the shout outs. So And the shout outs are Marmite, I'm afraid. You either love them or you hate them, but that's why we do it. So thank you for the comment. Really appreciate that. And hi, Mark. There you go. There's a good case in point there because Mark's just saying hello. Jinin saying really love it. Thank you very much. Daniel saying keep the shout out. You see, there you go. Thank you, Daniel. They are Marmite. Come on, folks. All right, let's talk about this now. There's only about 35 people watching. Do you like the shout outs? Say yes or no. Just say keep or get rid. Comment now and let me know. Let's do this live interactive as we are here. I do understand what Peter's saying. It kind of breaks up the news feed. The way that we do this, we like to keep this interactive because we're a community and I want you to share your voice and your opinion. And that's why we do the shout out. So can you comment now for me, folks, before we finish? Do you want to keep the shout outs? I need to do one final vote on shout-outs, don't I? And whilst I'm waiting for you to comment on the shout-outs, folks, if you really do like the show, if you would love to contribute some stars, they cost less than 1 pence each. That's all. You can buy 50 stars for like 5p, is it 50p? Something like that. They cost less than 1 penny each. If you'd like to donate some stars to the feed, just click on the star button in the comments and send those over. And it just shows Facebook that the content we're providing is good and it's relevant. Okay, that'd be awesome. All right, so shout outs. Now, this is nothing against Peter, but Peter, this is the conversation that we do have a lot on this show. So, Daniel, keep the shout outs. Marlon, keep the shout outs. Raj, keep the shout outs. Jinin, keep the shout outs. Miesko, keep the shout outs. Adex, keep the shout outs. Iva, keep the shout outs. Mandy, keep. Peter, yes. Jatinder, keep. Peter, get rid. No surprise. Melinda, keep. Sammy, no extension of stamp duty were bad for government purpose. Out of context, get what you're saying. Bobby, good morning. Keep the shout outs. Yemi, enjoy the show. Continue it, please. Michelle, keep the shout outs. Kim, they are useful to see people where you are so can connect with other people who are relevant. Kofi, keep the shout outs, says Kofi. Vivian, I'm okay, but not fussed. Yemi, keep the shout outs. Melinda, haven't seen how to do the stars. Melinda, in the comments, so look in the comments, there's a little star button. Click on that star button, then it will enable you to send some stars over. Thank you. Gabenga, keep the shout outs. There, we've got it again, folks. That's the shout out vote. I'm sorry if you don't like the shout outs, but the resounding votes from the community is to keep them. So I'm just doing what you're asking me to do. Thank you all so much for the interaction. Thank you for making the show what it's been this year. The show started way back in lockdown 1, just so I could give you all of the latest lockdown information from the government and about what it meant to you as landlords and how you should conduct your business during these times. And it's just grown from there. And I've just stayed every single day, apart from 2 days I've had off over the last 9 months. So I want to say thank you to all of you. If you're breaking up for Christmas today, please do come back on Monday. I will be doing the show Monday and Tuesday. Then I'm going to break for Christmas myself as well and spend a little bit of time for my family. Belinda saying you've got no button. You should have. You should have. Tell you what, you check out the pinned star message at the top of the page. So scroll up to the comments to the very top one. And this is the message you'll get here. All you need to do is click on that message if you want to send some stars, and then Facebook will show you how to do it. So that star button should be there. If you can't find it, just scroll to the very, very top of this feed, click on that message there, and it should tell you and should explain how you can do it. Okay, folks, thank you so much. Have a great day. If you're breaking up for Christmas today, enjoy. Unfortunately, there are no pantomimes. We normally go to a pantomime on this time every year, but we can't do that this year. So whatever you're doing, make sure you have some fun. I'll be back here on Monday and Tuesday. Then I'm breaking up for Christmas. Take care, folks. I'm Rick Gannon. Welcome back to my channel.